Hey folks, Peter here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you this game, Zynvaded. Now this is less me showing you the actual game and more just showing you the figures, but just give you a brief rundown. It's a tabletop wargaming style of game. Pretty fast paced usually. It's a team of 3 versus a team of 3 or teams of 4 or a couple of teams of 3, couple teams of 4. You can do some missions and stuff. That's beside the point. I just want to show off some figures that I've got in various stages of doneness, painting or not. Some rare figures that I've gotten. And hopefully this kind of helps sell you on the game and maybe you want to pick some up for yourself. Just for starters, the game comes in a takeout food box here. Got their sticker on the front, and on the back it just has like a nutritional label style description of what's inside the box. I've got some other boxes. We can check on those later, but for now I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see these figures up close. Check out some of the details. My subpar painting, let's not judge that. I just say nothing's finished and we'll just leave it at that. Let's take a look at some figures and we'll go from there. You guys like my super sweet playmat? I just picked this up the other day. I think it's pretty fun, which is why I got it. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with one of the base teams. Now these are the Zyn. A bit of backstory, which is explained in some detail in the starter book. There's a little rules book, as you can see, and this might kind of give you some idea. Basically, what's going on is these are bugs or insects or whatever that invaded Earth with plans to conquer Earth, and they did not realize how large Earth was. So the scale of the figures is them in real life. The whole point is that you can play this game anywhere using anything as terrain, you know, something like that. And I'm going to show you a figure just to kind of give you an idea. But this is one of the larger figures. This is to scale. So as far as terrain goes, we get to use whatever objects we might have sitting around. You know, roll a duct tape or something that you can go stand up on. Which you guys, it's off camera, but you get the idea. Things are just the way they are. Go down in the center, get some coverage around the sides. That's beside the point. So those are the Zyn, and there are the Save 'em faction and the Kill All faction. One wants to just exist and not destroy the humans, and the other wants to destroy the humans. So this right here is a heavy gunner. I'm not going to get too much into the stats. I'll just give you an example of an attack or a stat sheet. I'm not going to show you this other one that I have next to me. It's not out yet. This is how you use your stats. There's the heavy gunner in the middle. All sorts of stats. Again, I don't want to get too much into it. It's in depth, but it is pretty quick once you learn it. Pretty much if you want to shoot, you mark an ammo. You roll a number on a D10. Add this number. You need to beat somebody else's this number. Then you roll another dice. Add that number to beat this number. There's some other stats and moves you can do. Team of 3. As you can see here, we've got Sergeant, Heavy Gunner, and Sniper. Sorry. Not the Scout. Well, it is a Scout. Basic stat sheet. That's all you need. That's all you need. Figure. D10, which I technically do have handy. D10 and a ruler. Ruler. This game actually does use measurements. That's how you move. Is you measure from your base, how far you can move or how far you can shoot. All sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, so there is a heavy gunner. I'll just show off this team first. There is the sniper. As far as color schemes, I'm not quite sure what I was doing, but it is what it is. Haven't finished the dice on this one yet. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. This is the leader, by the way. So the leader and the sniper, they can move further than the gunner can. The gunner gets like 3 shots per ammo. Whole different system. We don't really need to get into it. Snipers can shoot long range, and the leaders have, you know, just generic stats, good all around. They add +2 to your initiative. That's how you decide who goes first. And you can give somebody an extra action. Basically, they're just a leader and some sort of disengage bonus / tax if somebody's in melee range with them. This is melee range, ½ inch. So that is one of my Zyn teams. Here's the other one. This one kind of has a more fun color scheme here with the orange. I have no idea how long this video is or what's the full goal, but I just want to show off some of the figures that I have, including some rarer figures. Again, gunner, sniper, leader. Guns are more silver on these figures instead of the black guns on those. Another unfinished prop that they're standing on. I've seen people actually cut those out and put actual bottle caps. That's kind of cool. But there you go. So that is a team, and that is a team. These are the base. Which ones save them, which ones kill all, I don't know. I haven't really picked. That's up to you. That's more of a flavor thing. Doesn't necessarily have gameplay impact. So I'm just going to set those aside for now. Here is, you guys might be able to tell who this is. It's from the NES. It's a game about a date, a certain day of the month on a certain day of the week. That's right. It's Jason. I almost said Freddy or something. Anyway, it's NES Jason. You got the purple, the not Tiffany blue. For legal reasons, that is not Tiffany blue. Just a very simple paint job that I've done on this one. That's not finished, clearly. I haven't even painted the machetes or anything. There's a spear sticking out of his leg. So this guy is one of the mercs, and I don't have the stat sheet here, but mercs aren't, they're not Zyn, they're not Terra, they're not the Zeds. They kind of just play with whoever. So if you wanted to, you could have your squad here, have your squad, and have Jason as a fourth. They're kind of just wild cards. These guys are meant to be balanced. The Zyn, the combat squads, those are designed to be balanced. The mercs, crazy. One of Jason's abilities, if I recall it off the top of my head, that when he loses his last body point, which is your hit points, if the camera will focus, it's your hit points. When the last one gets filled in, Jason just gets knocked over and the next turn stands back up. If he's hiding, if he's in cover, take him off the map. Next turn, bam! Now he's over here, behind cover again. So Jason gets to just kind of fly around the map. Again, kind of broken, but so are other characters. So, but they're more just for fun. The storyline here is that the bugs in they landed in a Chinese restaurant. Again, the takeout box that you guys saw, and it was next to a video game store or like a movie store, and the bugs adopted scene posters of like Friday the 13th, not Friday the 13th. So next to like a pop culture store, and there's like a poster of Jason, and they adopted some of their technology to look like that. Also from the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, Game Boy, it's Samus. Is this fully focusing? I can't exactly tell. I'm assuming that this is focusing. Please focus. This might have been one of the first or earlier figures that I painted. That is Samus. So once again, one of the mercs. They can kind of ride with whoever. There's some merc subclasses, like there's a Zed merc, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Samus, not a Zed. One of the zombies, not one of the zombie ones. Again, super cool. No moves that are, if you die, you're going to stand back up. Or there's some force pulse attacks that you can knock people back with, which is pretty cool. But again, size-wise, we're looking pretty darn close there. So there's another figure. I'll have to zoom out later and kind of show you more of the collection as a whole, as it were. As of now, I might have some more figures on the way, or want to get some more figures on the way. This was the latest paint job that I've been working on. You guys will never guess who it is. That's right, it's Zobafez. Zobafez definitely applies burn. You can do burning, which basically every turn, person has to roll the d10 to see if they are still on fire, take damage, so on and so on. Super simple paint job though. This was one of the first figures where I try to keep the color scheme to a minimum. This guy. And I also bought the Citadel paints. It's the Citadel, right? The little pots with the flip tops. Super simple. We got a green, we got a red, and I think I just put like a basic gray and a black. Yeah, actually just the black. I think the gray is just like a primer. Did I primer this? I don't even know if I primered this. No, I think I got a gray too. But super simple. I do have the washes. Now that that's out of focus. I do have the washes. So I still have to go in. I got like a dark green, a really nice matching dark green wash. That'll help all the details on the armor and the backpack there. It'll really help that pop. And then a nice red for like the gloves or the gauntlets, whatever you want to call them. And just real simple. Real simple. And then you can see the Z. I don't know if you can see the Z on the helmet or on the chest. Super simple figure. And then this is just like a 3D printed figure holder. And then you can just do that. Put some figures in, take them out, do whatever you got to do. Super cool. I'm just grabbing stuff in order of what's next to me. Here is another squad. Now, as you can see, Jason also is one of the larger ones, and these are actually slightly larger than the gunners. We've got our heavy for the Terra faction. Their whole thing is that they are more involved in magical stuff. So we got this big giant hammer there. We have like a spellcast leader right here, and like an archer. And again, I was trying to just keep the colors simple, so nothing's got a wash on it yet, because I like to partially paint stuff and then just completely move on to the next thing, because something along the way was a hitch. I think maybe the wings here, but the colors pop. Again, this is with the Citadel paints instead of just like the acrylic hobby paints that you get, in the tubes, or if you buy a set from, like Michael's or whatever craft store. More of their attacks, less with the guns. This guy's pretty much all melee. And then we got some spell casting stuff that you can do, and it's not guns. And then there's a bow, so they're, again, different from the Zins and your classic, wargaming guns and whatnot. We've got some fantasy characters, which I think is really cool. There's another set of 3, so this is like the base set of 3 for the combat squad, and then there's 3 replacements, one for each role or class. So if you want to switch one out and put in the second one, you can do that. Same with the I'm kind of jumping all over, but with the base Zin squad, each of these figures also has a replacement. You can get rockets instead of a gunner. Throws grenades. There's like a rocketeer. I think there's a blade assassin. I could be mistaken. But yeah, each one has a substitute that you can do. How long is this video going? My camera doesn't show the timer anymore, which is kind of wild. We've got some other stuff like some grubs. Grubs are little helper buddies. This one, I think, supplies, if you get it on your team, you can shoot rockets with it. There's a Santa-based one. I forget the stats. All the stat sheets are available on the website. Zynvaded.com. You go there, download section, and every figure here has a stat sheet to tell you how to play them. The last package I got, I also got this figure that at the time was not released. It is now. gosh, what is it called? It's a grub. It's another grub, obviously. Not a lightning grub. I forget. I don't have the stat sheets printed out, so I don't have the names off the top of my head. But they've got all sorts of other figures that you can add in. Buzz Grub. There you go. Buzz Grub. They've got other figures you can add in. So again, it's a 3-on-3, or you can do 2 teams of 3 versus 2 teams of 3, or 4 teams of 4, teams of 4. There is also a campaign mode. You can do missions. These characters have, you can actually evolve them. The EVO, there's evolution points you can do to upgrade some of their stats. And then if they get knocked out, they're done, kind of thing. We got some grubs there. I have one that's painted. It was a shield one. It had like a little radar on it. Or maybe it was a radar, not a shield one, but it was a radar to kind of give you extra RCA, I believe. This one has a shield that's held on by a very tiny spot on the back here that fell off. Paint turned out great though. Digging it so far, anyway. Again, I hope that is in focus. I'm trying to watch this on a tiny little, 2-inch screen. So, another grub. I also got, there was a mini grub I got from going to one of the conventions that they were set up at. Now, what's this one's purpose? I don't know. I don't remember. Here is another Samus figure with the helmet off. Helmet's in the hand there. Same stats, same stat sheet, just a variant on the figure. I'm running out of room to put stuff over here. An interesting fact, so some of the figures, when you get them, they show up like this in a bag or a little plastic box like that. And they'll come with their stat sheet. Actually, this is for Jason, so this isn't even the bag from the Samus. But there you go, there's Jason. If you want to see the stats, go and pause that screen there. You can read it. Again, you can go to the website, check it all out. So Jason, like I was saying, is a Z Merc, so a zombie Merc. And there's loose rules of who can go to what team, so on and so forth. This was one of the initial figures that I had gotten, actually, which was another Samus. But as you can see, it's in parts, and it looks wet because the resin never cured properly. So I reached out to the Zynvaded team, and they made things right. They sent me out a replacement one with an order that I had placed for some other stuff. It did take a while. There was some back and forth. Something was going on. I don't blame them for any of that. But they did finally send me out the replacement. So if you have an issue with the resin, these are all resin printed. If you do have an issue, they gladly will help you to make it right. So shout outs to them. Just I want to say that behind the scenes, their customer support has been fantastic. Here's some mission markers that I've got. Again, haven't painted or anything. There's like an SD card floating around in there. The SD card, there's like a little medical station that you have to go log into or something, or download data from. These mission markers are for, we gotta zoom this out already. I can just tell you that right now. Go to this other box here. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. So we had a Buzz Grub. We've got the medical grub, the Santa grub, the, whatever. This is Grubzilla right here. And this thing is solid and very pointy. I kind of want to sand off the points because these are very sharp. This is Grubzilla. Grubzilla comes with like a flame fireball attachment, so you can have the action shot of the fireball or whatever noxious fumes. You can have that or just remove it, which I think is pretty cool. This is a character from a standalone, the campaign supplement to the Evo core set, or the Zynvaded Don't Let the Zedbugs Bite core set. Escape from Alcatraz. So this is one of like the mission sets. And again, these all come with little booklets, and if you lose this information or you have no idea what's going on, you can go onto their website, like I said, and download PDFs if you prefer to have PDFs on like your phone or a tablet instead of paper. And the stat sheet's even right in there, but I have it printed out and laminated. I've got a bag of all the stat sheets, which they just updated, so I have to print it out again actually. But what you do is you take one of these stat sheets, and let's say you just have one printed out like this. You take your pencil and you fill in your circles, you take damage, you use up ammo, use your actions, whatever you need to do to keep track of what moves and damage and shots you have done, taken, performed, whatever. And then you just erase it. If you get some health back, you erase the circles. If you laminate it and you have some dry erase markers or something, you can do that. You can put like a dice on each character to let you know that you've activated them for that turn. But it really is just a sheet of paper. You don't need a tablet with 6 different tabs of stats, abilities, inventory, whatever. It's all just right here on this sheet. Now, it does get a little more involved with the missions, but nothing too bad. And then again, like I said, you can evolve. So that's the EVO circles, and then you can actually buff some of their stats. I think you roll like a D10, and depending on what you roll, that's what you get to add for that level up or evolution, whatever you want to call it. More grubs. More grubs. Another grub. There's a trap. One of the characters actually has a trap feature. And more traps. Okay, so that's what I've got for those. And here's the Grubzilla sheet. Yeah. So Grubzilla is a Zed from the Zed faction, but not a Merc. This was another figure I picked up. I met with the creator of the game, and he actually tossed one of these my way for one of the other issues I was having with something with another order. Besides the point, this here is Ballodeck. This is a support Merc, not a Zed Merc, but just a Merc. Another stat sheet there. My guess is their main weapon is going to be this giant saw that they've got there. So I'm going to have to get that one painted. Ballodeck. I don't know what this character is from. If anything, they're actually crushing what looks like maybe a sniper? That's kind of close, I would say. Pretty generic, but still. Ballodeck there. So that's what I have for my current models. And now I'm going to show you something I picked up online. This is the GNAT Battle Pod. This guy is old. This is old, and this is how it was shipped to the game store, to the hobby stores. Or maybe the person just put it together like this. Conquering the world 1 inch at a time. This is a vehicle. It's not, they don't currently make these. So this is kind of a defunct figure. I haven't even taken it out of the packaging yet. I believe what you do is one of your members of your team gets next to it, and then you actually mount into it, and then you get to add the stat sheet to your character, or you just get bonuses like, oh, if you're in the vehicle, add +2 to this roll or +3 to this, check or whatever. But yes, there is a GNAT Battle Pod. Pretty cool. So again, you can't get this right now, but they do have new ones out. One's called like Tankrantula or something like that. Something like that. And then I think the oldest item that I have. Again, this is something I went and found on eBay. my buddy and I were talking about it, and we both went and picked one up, basically. So this is kind of an older starter core set. Box is pretty similar, opens up. Again, you've got your stat sheets, everything is in there. Similar where you mark off the circles and the numbers and everything. But these figures, and I'm not going to take them all out, I don't want to risk damaging them or anything. These actually, in more of a true wargaming fashion, these actually come disassembled. So you can paint every detail and then reassemble them. Or assemble them and then paint them if you want. The same kind of deal. And these are old, this was before the resin printing. I think these were actually like cast resin, I believe. Like I'm looking on the inside of this handle where the gun is, and it's kind of a little mushy. Again, that's going to be on the inside, so nobody's even going to see it. So this is a heavy gunner, and disassembled, and they are white and green. So they're actually, you don't even have to paint them to determine who's who. Here's another one, just, what is it, 3-4 pieces in there? So, yeah, that is, again, I don't know how long this video is. I've been enjoying playing, though, when my buddies can come over or we can get together at whatever place we're at. And, yeah, there is my current Zynvaded Collection. Got some more stuff on the way, and I want to, and I'm going to leave this as the question for you, chat, for you watching this. But first I'm going to move the camera. Just take a moment to take in all of the plastic goodness that is this Zynvaded crowd, as it were. Yeah, isn't that slick? It's quite the collection, huh? All right, so that is the Zynvaded Collection. The video actually just fully stopped recording. I think I got it at the end there, showing off the entire collection. Did I really need this old set? Not really, but it is kind of cool to have just a little piece of history. This is a game that was made in the state, in the area, we'll say. Let's just say in the area. I forget exactly where they live, or if they lived here when they created it and moved, whatever. It is from We Have Issues Publishing. So they used to look like this, and now it looks like this. I think the boxes are red now even. There's some other factions that I don't have. There's the scales, which are kind of lizardy, more lizardy insects. And then there's the Zeds. So check them out. It's all on the website. And I am looking for a new Merc, probably. Or maybe somebody to add to one of the teams, like one of the starter, one of the core teams. I might be looking to add somebody to this. I've recently started really liking playing with the grenades, which has its own little system where you roll a dice, and whichever way the tip of the dice is facing, and if the number doesn't meet or beat the number you're supposed to roll for the check, it moves that far away. Let's say you got to roll a 6 and you roll a 2, and it moves 4 inches this way and then blows up in a radius. So there's grenades and there's rockets. So you let me know, leave a comment down below. Go on the page, go look at the stat sheets, like I said, is in the download section. Go find which character can I pick up that has the best rocket launcher, grenades, both, one or the other. I want to say there's an ammo resupplier. I forget if it's for the core Zyn team or for the Terras. I want to say the Terras even actually do have a gunner style figure. But let me know. Let me know which one's going to have the best rocket / grenade, one or the other, or both. Let me know. Let me know which one I should be picking up. What kind of paint job should I be doing on some of these figures? Do you want to see me paint some of these? Do you want to watch that happen in a video? I do have my microscope set up so you can get some super close-up details of me painting these figures. You want to see the Boba Fett in super close. I'm sorry, Boba Fez. I didn't say that. Zoba Fez. If you want to see the Zoba Fez or something similar in just close-up detail, because this is not going to focus. If you want to see that in close-up detail being painted, let me know. Leave it in the comment down below. Would you like to watch a skirmish? I could actually run through a turn of this. That would be easy enough to set up. You can pretty much play this wherever. I could literally move some stuff around on this table right now and play a game. That's kind of the whole goal, is you don't need to buy separate terrain. You don't have to buy little rubble buildings or fences or whatever. You just have what you have around your table, set this up, and that offers some coverage. It's something to climb over. Somebody's got to hop over that or stand on top of it, and then they have line of sight. All sorts of stuff like that. Cardboard boxes, little tubes of paint, old cell phones, a remote, whatever it may be. You can design your own dioramas, whatever you want to do. I have seen some cool scenarios and landscapes already. But if you want to see some more of this Zynvaded stuff, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Zynvaded.com. I believe I got that right. If I didn't, this is going to get cut out. All right, just confirmed. The website is indeed Zynvaded.com. You can check it out there. And they've got the store. You can buy all sorts of starter sets, different factions. The new hardback rulebook, which is actually something I need to be picking up. All sorts of stuff there. Some Zeds, horror stuff, Zed by Daylight, all sorts of everything. All the character sheets, everything you might need, Zynvaded.com. Check it out. Again, let me know what you want to see. If you want to see some more Zynvaded action. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer it. Otherwise, I will figure out some answers for you. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you are enjoying the series of videos that are coming out. I don't know where this is going to be in that series, what's left, what's coming up, what has come out. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a like on the video, comment, check out some other videos on the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And most importantly, have yourself a nice day. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.